who is the Rockdale County Water Supply Company, or whatever they're called. You pay your water bill to them. And you're supposed to contact them. If they don't come out to address the issue, you call the state and let them know I've contacted myself. You need to follow up with them to see why they have not cleared your water. They can come out and test it to see if there's any toxin or whatever it is. It's their responsibility. And if they're not doing it, you're supposed to follow with them. Go through a higher management in the water, in the Rockdale water system, and tell them your water, your drinking water is contaminated, and that's what they're supposed to do. If they're not doing it, you follow up with them. The EPA cannot make them do what they have to do. We don't go by their guidelines. The city of Rockdale that you pay your water bill to is supposed to address any issues with your drinking water. Sometimes when you call, there may be some, excuse me, I have this dry cough that's driving me. But anyway, if they haven't been out to your house to evaluate your water, you need to follow up with them. Call the CEO of the company, call the president, and tell them that you've contacted, and tell them the person you talked with, you're having trouble with your drinking water and nobody is addressing it. It's their job to do that. They furnishing water, you paying your water bill to them, and they're supposed to address the issue initially, which is they're the first persons you call. If they're not following up, you need to follow up with the water company. Go to a higher level. Ask for their, if you know who came out, you know the name, go to his supervisor. If you can't get a response, you go up the ladder. If you have to go to the CEO of the Rockdale water plant, or whoever you pay your water bill to, they're supposed to correct the problem. See, that's the issue with the Rockdale sewer, whoever you pay your water bill to. They're supposed to correct your drinking water. The storm water is EPA. We're going to check. Are you still there?
I'm listening.
Okay, I was just wondering. I want to make sure we didn't get disconnected. At this point, what I can do is have someone from Stormwater to call you. When they call you, you can address your issue with your water, and they can advise you. They're going to tell you what you can do, which is the same thing that I'm telling you. You have a company that you're paying your water bill. It's their responsibility to find out why your water is contaminated. They say it's not contaminated. We don't see a problem from our end. Well, then if you don't, my water, it could be discoloration. It could have a, excuse me, it could have a yellow tone to it, a yellow scent. If they saying it's not contaminated, tell them to come out and see for themselves. And if they say it's not contaminated, say, well, how about you drinking a glass of it? You know, they can see the problem, and it's their place to fix it. If they don't fix it, you go to the state and say, well, my water company is not addressing the issue with my water, and I want the state to get involved. And you can call the state EPA in Georgia and tell them that, because if you call them initially, they're going to say, well, your supplier is supposed to address the issue. Well, I've talked to my supplier, and they're not doing anything. So I want the state to check into it. That's where we are with the water. And what was the third issue?
Sewer backup.
Where is the sewage backup coming from? Do you know?
It's coming from the main sewer line. It's not coming from my house. We in the condominium. We have no water, so there's nothing to back up other than, you know.
I have homeowners association?
Yes, I went to them, and they said they're working on it, but they've been working on it a whole year.
Okay, well, let's do this. I'm gonna send an email to the stormwater, and you tell them the issue. Maybe they can give you some concrete information to tell you whether that would be EPA and who you need to contact officially. They can handle the stormwater, and you also tell them, say, well, what do I do about my water in my home? What do I do about the backup? And see what they can suggest. If it has to be addressed with the EPA, they'll tell you, well, you need to talk to so and so, or they'll give you a contact number. If it's something that the homeowners association need to address, we have to determine if the source is coming from the environment. If it's an EPA environment, if it's an EPA environment, that's all we can do is address the EPA violation. You may have 3 or 4 issues. And part of it could be what we need to address. The other part could be what the city or the state, and if it's a sewage backup from the city, it could be their pipes. Their pipes could be worn out. It could be burst. But then if that's the case, then the city or the state, whoever owns that property where the pipes are burst, they will have to do what they need to do if it means replacing the pipes. The EPA cannot do that, because if we have an issue, we get to the source of it, and if the source is coming from the state where they have busted pipes, they have to repair them, because if they don't, it's going to appear over and over again. And if the EPA has investigated and contacted them and said, well, you're going to have to replace your pipe, this is the source of the problem. If they don't, then the EPA can take necessary steps to find them, or some cases may even have to go to court. It's a process. That's why we handle everything on an individual case-by-case basis. Everything, you could have the same situation with different circumstances that cause us to handle it differently. They come out with different solutions. So let's start with the stormwater. We know that comes from the EPA. I'm gonna find out who handled the stormwater issues, which would include the stormwater runoff. And they're going to ask you some questions, and they're going to determine what steps we can take to move forward. And what we do is get to see where the problem is coming from. We get to the source of it. That's the main thing. They may not be able to tell at this point what the problem is and where it's coming from until they come out to the scene. They may say, well, where's the storm water coming from? You give them the location. They go to that location and they see exactly what is going on. And at that point, they can determine what needs to be done. If it's something that we need to do, we will proceed based on our regulations and guidelines. Then when you talk to them, tell them I also have an issue with this. You tell them you're number 2 and you're number 3. Does the EPA get involved with that? Who will I contact for these 2 problems? See, he's handling the stormwater, so you're going to address the other 2 issues with him, and he's going to determine if that's an EPA issue. If not, he's going to say, well, you need to contact the city, the state, or you need to do this, blah, blah, blah. So we have to take it one step at a time, okay?
Okay.
So let's start with getting your name and a phone number so they can call you back. And you can go into detail. They'll know the questions to ask you. I'm not the stormwater expert. I just have to get you to the right source to address your issue. And then they know from their expertise what steps they need to do, because we strive to protect your health and the environment. And the violation has to be an EPA violation. Everything is not the EPA. We have to make that determination. That's why we have to do our investigation. So you have 3 issues, so we're going to take them one at a time. But since you will be talking to the stormwater contact person, and he's going to tell you what he can do about the stormwater. He may not can tell you at this point because he may not know exactly what the problem is until he go out to the site and actually see what's going on in order to know what EPA needs to do. And then you can say, well, who do I contact for this issue with my drinking water? Explain the situation to them. Then I have another issue with the sewage runoff. See, all that's different. And it could be different people handling. So let's take it a step at a time. Now, do you want someone to call you back?
Of course. I got an email address too.
Okay, you can give them your email address if they need it when you talk with them, because you need to talk to someone first, and if they need to send you in information, they need your email address, because they may email you. You may not understand the email, and you're gonna have to call them anyway. So I'm gonna let them get your phone number so they can call you. Then if they need any more information from you, like your email or whatever, you tell them everything that you got. And they'll know the questions. If you've gotten an email from the state or the city, that could be helpful as well. But they're going to ask you questions as it relates to the stormwater, to know what the stormwater runoff is. Where is the stormwater runoff? Where is this coming from? You say it's affecting your property. And if the stormwater is coming from an environmental, if it's not connected to it, the stormwater is not coming from anybody's private property, then because we don't have issues on private property. If someone is causing problems to your property and the problem is coming from their property, you will have to deal with the homeowner. It's their responsibility. If they have trouble on their property and it's causing damage to your property, then they would be responsible. That's what has to be determined. Okay? So let's get your name and number and just get this ball rolling. And I'm going to you may get a call back today. We're working remotely. So you may get a call back today, or you should get a call back no later than the end of the business day tomorrow. I don't know, sometimes they can be in workshops, they could be in training, a lot of things could change, but they will call you back, should be within 24 to 48 hours. I'll put in the email to call you as soon as possible. You may get a call back today. If not, you should get a call back by the end of the business day tomorrow. If you don't get a call back by the end of the business day tomorrow, call us back. And you can ask for me. If you don't get a call back from this stormwater email, call me back tomorrow. Well, tomorrow is Tuesday, Wednesday. Give them the whole day. And I would check and see why you haven't gotten a call back. We can follow up on it. Okay, we have to take it step by step. Because by us working remotely, we can't just, if we were in the office, we could just transfer you, you could talk to someone. That is not the case.
Okay.
So we're going to give them your name and number, and they're going to call you back. They're going to give you the name. This will be the person that handles the stormwater, and they know more about it than anybody. This is within their expertise. Okay?
Okay, Mary, my number is 334.
Okay, give me your first and last name first. You said CC Carr in Georgia. Okay, your phone number? 334. Okay.
526.
Okay.
0027.
Okay, let me repeat that. 334-526-0027.
Yes, Mary. And this is reference to the Clean Water Act, 1972.
But the Clean Water Act didn't have anything to do with stormwater.
Wait. Safe Drinking Water Act, SD, that was SDWA. And then
all that is different. This has nothing to do with stormwater. But like I said, you mentioned to him your other issues, and he could direct you to where you need to go from there. Okay?
What about the EPCRA? That's Emergency Plan Community Right to Know Act.
And that has nothing to do, like I said, we have to address one issue at a time because we handle it on a case-by-case basis. We're speaking of the stormwater. All the other issues, we have to determine if it's EPA or if someone else needs to address the issue. So what we are concerned about now, we're gonna do the email for stormwater. You address your stormwater issues to them, and he'll determine what needs to be done. And you can also ask about the other issues, and he'll say, well, this doesn't come under my expertise. You're going to have to call blah, blah, blah. He will direct you to where you need to go or who you need to contact to address those issues. It will not be him. He can't address all those issues that you have because it does not come under it. We have different people handling different issues. You could say, well, I'm calling about the Clean Water Act. Well, see, that's general. They're going to have to break it down. There are different parts of it. They're going to have to determine what your situation is to determine what part of the Clean Air Act that your issue comes under. And they resolve it based on those guidelines. See, everything is broken down. It has to be specific. The EPA is broad. You have water, storm water, you have pollution, you have, hazardous waste. All that comes under a different category, and that has to be determined based on your circumstances and your situation.
Okay. Did you go to school for this?
Well, we've had training. I'm not, like I say, I'm not it's different areas. You have different people handling different things. So one person from EPA cannot answer all your questions about EPA. They have different, like I said, it's broken down into categories. I have to determine what our program offers, and when you call, I have to get you to that person that handles your issue. I have to get you to the right person that handles the stormwater. I can't send your stormwater issue to someone that handles pollution that comes under air. They can only address what they're specialized in. So we don't need to waste time just going over all this. I need to send the email so you can get a call back, hopefully today.
Yes. Are these calls recorded? Are your calls recorded?
Sure they are, yes.
Okay.
They are. So we're getting down to the prompt, we're getting down to the situation of the stormwater to get someone to address that issue about your stormwater.
Right.
We take one step at a time. That person that called you back cannot solve all those issues that you're referring to.
Okay, but I do have the email addresses and names and phone numbers
that's good. That could be very helpful to him.
That I have been in communication with. Now, the stormwater issue, deals with pollution. We got pump stations here in Rockdale County that they're over full. And when it rains, it actually floods us out from the pump stations. Okay?
And that has to be determined, and the stormwater representative will determine what he needs to do. You just tell us the problem. We'll deal with how it should be handled and what regulations are. We have to determine what we can do to assist you or to correct the stormwater runoff.
Right. And see, the reason why I know something about it, because a few years ago, we had the same problem, and they gave me a discount on my property taxes because of it. This is not my first time dealing with stormwater runoff.
Who did you talk with about the stormwater before they gave you some discount?
I spoke with somebody with the EPA, but they also contacted the tax assessor's office because they have, whatever those things, people who.
See, this could be the same. This could be different. This even though it was stormwater, it could be a different circumstance. That has to be determined. So we can't tell from this point, and I don't know. You just have to talk to whoever called you back, and they will determine how to move forward. That's all we can do. I can't answer those questions. He can't answer them until he gets direct information from you, and he will know the question to ask you. Okay?
Right, and what I'm saying is somebody else has been investigating this same issue, and
you tell them that.
No, not with. Hear me out. He is not with the EPA or the Department of Natural Resources. He is the chairman of the Soil and Water.
Well, have you followed up with him?
Yes, I did. And he does not correct those things. What he did do was document it, and the city and the county of Rockdale was fined for these infractions right in our neighborhoods. And so what the Rockdale County is doing is rebilling us so that we got to pay for the fine and not take care of the real issue that caused them to be fined because of them releasing pollutants, that means the overflow, into our communities.
But we can't come in and change what they're doing. They have to do whatever. You can't bring that issue to the EPA because the county's not following up on what they need to do. That's a whole different circumstance.
The EPA is the one who gave them a fine.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. We're going over the same thing. I'm going to
Okay.
send the email out. I have other calls waiting. I can't go over the same thing over and over. We've discussed this. Cons, you get a call from someone from Stormwater, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Thank you.
We have to address the issue to them, and they will take it step. We can't compile all this at one time. We have to take it step at a time to make sure your issues are addressed. What we're excuse me. What we're concerned is assisting you with what we have determined is an EPA issue. So I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna get the email out.
and Mary, I'm just letting you know. I
understand that, but you're talking to the person that can't assist you further. You have to
That's
tell
fine.
this to the person that will be addressing your issue.
Okay, so I thought you worked for the federal side. You sending me back to the state side, right?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Okay.
The email that will be sent will be from the federal level, not the state.
Okay.
At the EPA federal level.
Okay, perfect.
And the federal level contact person will call you. We are not contacting the state. It's on the federal level. The email will come from someone from the federal level.
Okay, perfect.
It will probably be no one you've already talked with.
Okay, thank you so much.
Well, you take care and stop worrying. You know, it's going to be hell. I have to take it step by step. And you take care and enjoy your day.
Thank you. I hope you get better. Get rid of that cough. Healed in the name of Jesus. Talk to you later.
Thank you. I needed that.
Yes.
You know, I'm taking Mucinex, but I haven't eaten breakfast and I can't take it on the empty stomach. But it doesn't seem to get to the core. This coffee, this choking cough, you know.
That water will help it pass through. Drink a bunch of water.
I'm going to send this email out right now.
Okay, thank you. Drink a bunch of water. It'll help push it out.
I will. I'm doing that now. That's what's keeping me going. I appreciate it. And you take care now.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hey, bye-bye.